Hello everyone, this is Bahar. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about what toxic femininity is as part of how to become a high value woman. In my previous videos, I talked about working on certain things, certain behavioral issues, and I mentioned a few items in my video how to get your DM back. One of them was how to become a high value person, how to become a high value woman. And one of the major ways to get there is to heal toxic femininity. In this video, I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to expand what toxic femininity is and the divine feminines, or women that have had relationship issues or failures in relating to others emotionally and romantically, might be dealing with some or all of these toxicity issues, toxic issues. So I have prepared a list that I'm going to go through, and I'm going to expand on each item. And I'm going to make some examples. And I'm sure if you have been in a toxic relationship dealing with a toxic person, or you have been the toxic one in a connection, you can relate to some or all of these items. I myself, as a divine feminine in a twin flame journey, have dealt with a lot of these issues in the past, and I'm still working through some of them. As you know, we are constantly in we need to constantly develop ourselves and make ourselves better. So there is no single day that you can wake up and say, okay, today I'm perfect. Today I'm done working on myself and I'm the best version of myself, and that's it. Well, each day you can be the best version of yourself that day, but if you stop growing, that is pretty much being prepared to die. So as we're breathing, as we're growing, as we're dealing with other people, as we are moving through our life, we need to work on ourselves and become a better person for ourselves and in turn for our loved ones. Toxic femininity is something that keeps us women from forming meaningful, healthy relationships. And what leads to toxicity? The number one issue is insecurity. Insecurity is when someone starts to look for external validation for their happiness or for their self-worth, instead of excuse the background noise, sorry. Instead of looking inside themselves and seek value from their heart, from inside them, from their own worth. They don't, when you stop seeing your own worth, when you look at other people and their reaction to you or their behavior towards you to find that worth within you or about you. Insecurity is, I think, to my experience, is the number one issue that leads to a lot of breakups when the woman in the relationship, or the feminine energy in the relationship, starts putting all the weight onto the other person to give them the sense of happiness or the sense of self-worth that they should be seeking from within. Um, when you start feeling insecure, or when you are insecure in a relationship, you become suspicious of your partner. You don't feel good enough for them. You check them a lot. You start developing trust issues. You don't trust yourself in the relationship. You might not feel good about your body, your looks, your job, your sense of stability. And all that leads to putting pressure onto the other person to constantly validate you, or to show more attention that they need, or more you start looking for signs or verbal or emotional attention more than the other person is required to show, in order for you to feel better about yourself. The other issue is with toxic feminines, is that they are overly critical. When you're overly critical in a relationship, and these are not necessarily in romantic relationships, it could be this is what a toxic feminine looks like. This is what we need to heal in ourselves in order to develop better relationships with everybody around us. Insecurity doesn't only affect your love relationships, for example. It affects your relationship with your parents. It affects your relationship with your children. When you start to control a lot, or when you start to become needy, which I talk about, that's a separate item also. But being overly critical causes people to never feel good enough for you. So it's the other way around. When you feel that nothing makes you happy, when you pick on every little thing, when you can't find satisfaction from within, and you're looking for it outside of you so much that no matter what the other people do for you, you're not happy. See, at the end of the day, all these items that I'm going to talk about comes down to finding happiness from inside. So you bring it to the relationship instead of you asking it. You're asking the relationship to give it to you. It's a healthy relationship is about you bringing your best into it and make it work, than the relationship give it to you. Because the relationship without you is nothing. A relationship is a connection between you and a partner. Without two people bringing their best into a relationship on its own is void. It doesn't have any substance. The substance is you, 50%, and the other 50% is your partner. And this 50% could balance out like 60% 40 one day, or 70-30, depending on how the energy moves between you. But there has to be a balance. And that's when you can form a healthy bond. A relationship is not a place where you can go to and seek validation or seek happiness from. Being overly critical causes people to not be happy with you. They will start feeling or thinking that no matter what they do, no matter how they are, no matter what they give or how much effort they put, they can never make you happy. And it causes people to get frustrated. It causes them to get agitated, and they move on eventually. And this is one of the reasons that people leave a toxic feminine. it's because they think no matter what, they're not good enough for you. So they start looking for someone that appreciates them, right? This is or being overly critical is basically a lack of appreciation of the other person and their efforts. The other item is being needy. Being needy for attention, being needy for love, and asking for it. You're needy if you're constantly checking your partner, um, if you want to know where they are, what they do every minute of the day, or if you ask them with whom they're talking, how they spend their day, more than just a storytelling of, oh, how was your day, right? Why did you talk to so and so? Where were you at such and such? And why did you go there? Who did you talk to? Why did you say that? And all that, which also brings trust issues. But also being needy in terms of asking for love and attention. Um, Asking someone if they love you instead of attracting their love. I think that is one of the damaging questions in a relationship, is asking or feeling that like you have to ask the other person if they love you. To me, if a relationship gets to a point where you feel the need to ask someone if they love you, the love is probably already not there. Or if it's there, you don't see it. So if you have to ask someone for their attention and their love, there's two scenarios. One is your partner is not giving you enough attention and enough love. And that's where you should start asking yourself, why would you even put yourself in that situation, right? Why would you be in a scenario where your person is not putting as much effort into the connection as you do? And that is the case with a lot of spiritual connections in the beginning. The twins in the beginning is where the feminine keeps giving, and the masculine keeps running and not giving back. And it's all so intertwined. It's the being needy and them running are like a chicken and egg. You don't know who's causing what, but at the same time you can't stop it, right? So and the other reason for asking for love is the love could be there, but you're just not seeing it because you're needy, because you are seeking more than what the other person can give, or you're seeking for your happiness from what the other person is giving and not from inside. All these items are kind of, at the end of the day, meshed together. They are cause and effect of each other. So if you have one of these issues, it's very likely that you are dealing with some other ones as well. The other point is, and this one is a very big item with a lot of women, regardless of what kind of relationship you're in, whether it's divine, spiritual, or physical, or just a dating life or whatnot, is not being able to control emotions. This can lead to major breakups, divorces, and loss of long-term relationships, or even loss of a date. Not being able to control emotions causes you to lash out at your person, crying a lot, begging, chasing, feeling very low, getting angry, being played a lot, Because once you start not being able to control your emotions, it's very likely that if your person is a man, men usually play on those kind of emotions. It doesn't matter how mature a man is. If you start losing control over your emotions, if you can't pull yourself together, if you are not uh, grounded and stable emotionally, it's very likely that you get mind games and you get played, and it even makes it all worse. Um, so the number one thing to, I will, if I have time in this video, in this post, I will talk about how to heal each of these items, or touch base basically on that. But these are the things that you need to work on. For example, in being able to control your emotions, you have to start thinking more logically. You have to start understanding mind games. You have to work on trust issues. If you have anger issues or anxiety, you have to start working on that. You have to give attention to triggers, to what makes you lash out, what kind of things get under your skin, what kind of things get on your nerve. Why do you behave a certain way when something is said or done? It's all about self-discovery. In order to get your partner back, you need to look at yourself first, to understand why they left to begin with, right? In order to get something back, you have to understand why you don't have it, in order to be able to get it back. It's like I don't know, I was just going to make an example, but it just ran off. But in order to understand how you can make a relationship better, or how you can bring your partner back into your life, and how you can keep a healthy relationship, you have to understand what is an unhealthy situation. And not being able to control emotions is one major cause of a relationship going unhealthy very rapidly. Men, or anybody, if you're in a masculine energy, listening to this audio, also, partners want a relationship where they can thrive in, where you can grow in, where you can feel peaceful in, where you can feel safe and secure in. Especially as a woman, you want to feel safe and secure in your relationship. And as a man, they need someone that makes them feel appreciated, feel wanted, someone that gives them a little bit of a draw to pursue, someone that provides a healthy, calm environment. If you're constantly crying, if you're constantly begging, if you're constantly arguing, if you're questioning them, if you're checking them, if you're chasing them, you take that away. And nobody wants to stay in that kind of scenario, right? The other behavioral problem that causes unhealthy, toxic relationships is being manipulative. Being in victim mentality all the time, playing games to get your partner's attention, crying to get their attention, withholding sex to get their attention, scaring them, threatening them, detaching or giving silence to get them to do what you want. These behaviors are also learned in families. These are not all inherent. This is something that is easily picked up from parents also. So when you're looking at these behaviors within you, you can look at the environment you were raised in and see how your parents' behavior towards each other and towards you has led uh, to these abusive kind of behavior. Because to me, being manipulative is being abusive. Um, no matter which partner it comes from, whether it's from the woman or it's from the man, um, being emotionally and mentally manipulative is the biggest form of abuse. It's mental abuse is not any less dangerous than physical abuse in a partnership. Guilt tripping, for example, is one of the most common forms of manipulation. Um, making your partner pay for their mistakes by withholding sex is another one. Um, threatening for a breakup, threatening them to leave them, threatening to take their children away if you have children with them. Um, any form of mental or emotional manipulation is abusive behavior in a relationship, and it will cause a downfall of a relationship. So if you are um, looking at providing a healthier environment for your relationship, you have to look at these behaviors. If you have been manipulative, how have you been manipulative? What kind of things did you say? What kind of things have you done? How did you push away your person? Or to what kind of things that they did you react, and did you uh, play them to their game, and you push them away? A relationship is a two-way thing, and that's what we have to keep in mind. If somebody leaves us, part of it is them and their issues, but part of it is our issues too. If you are not at a point of accepting that, you cannot change anything, basically. If you are still at a situation, at a state that you complain to your friends and your family that so and so left me, and they cheated, and they lied to me, and they did this and they did that, the least of the problems that you have with you is you put yourself in that situation, right? Nobody has the ability to keep you in a toxic situation other than you. It's a choice. And that is the least of the problems. All these things that I'm talking about here are things that can lead to scenarios like that. Unless a man is inherently born a cheater, or has some mental and emotional issues from previous relationships, or wounds, um, nobody wants to cheat and ruin a relationship. People usually get into a relationship, into a connection, to make it work. Nobody goes into a connection to break it. People usually get into something, into a partnership, to build something. Whether or not it's built and it's a strong, it's the effort of both people. If you're in a connection with someone, and no matter what you do, they're not putting effort, they're not giving back, they're not doing what the same as what you're doing, then the question that you need to ask yourself is, why am I here? Right? But if you are in a relationship where the person is giving you attention, they're dating you, they're seeing you, and you're needy, and you're checking them, and you have trust issues, you question their motives, you spy on them, if you are manipulating them, if you're um, being overly critical about every little thing that they do, if you're judging them, then you take away all motivation from this person to want to build anything with you, right? So if they leave, then it's not entirely their fault. You see, if you're not when you're looking at these videos and when you're looking at yourself trying to, or where you're actually, when you're starting to look or search for ways to bring somebody back into your life, somebody that you love, somebody that you want and you see as a good partner, then you have to start asking yourself, how can I change me? Because you can never change somebody else. That is just hoax. Everybody can change themselves only, and the change that you make in yourself might, and that's a might, change the other person because they are motivated to be better also. But it's the change that they make as a result of the change that you made, right? So the next thing is being afraid of loss. Being constantly concerned, being constantly afraid that your relationship is going to fall apart, being overly attached to your person, not leaving them any space, not giving them room to breathe. And this is different from being needy. Being needy is to get attention for yourself, but being afraid of loss is a fear of abandonment, and it's a very serious issue, and I think it comes deeply from childhood. It's something that is caused to us as children, where our parents might have abandoned us for any reason at any stage of our childhood, whether we had working parents and we needed them with us, but they were absent, or we were grown in a war country, or we lost family members, or for any kind of reason that causes you to feel fear of loss. It will affect the relationship in a sense that it causes attachment to a person, and this attachment becomes suffocating for the other person and also for you, because once you start attaching yourself to something, then that something becomes your entire world. Then that something becomes a worry. That something is not fun anymore. If you're attached to your person, then you constantly worry about them. You worry about their health. You worry about where they are. Are they okay? Are they gonna come back? Is somebody gonna steal them from you? Is your relationship going to work and all that? So being afraid of loss can be originated in the childhood, but you can still work on it. You can still trust. You can trust that if you're giving enough attention to your relationship, if you're feeding relationship in a healthy way, your person does the same, and that they won't have a reason to leave, right? If you believe in yourself and if you see yourself as the best they can get, not in an egotistical way, of course, but in the way that you look at yourself, you love yourself enough to believe that what you are is the best they can have, you will never be afraid of them leaving you again, right? So it all comes from self-belief again. You see how everything is converging towards self-love and self-respect and believing in yourself and confidence, and all that. The other item that leads to toxic partnership is overly sharing. Us as women, we talk a lot. We solve our problems through talking. We share emotionally through talking. We talk to our friends, we talk to our mothers, we talk to our uh, family, we talk to our loved ones, we talk to our children. It's all talk, 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 and in all this talking, there's a lot of sharing happening. What a partner doesn't need is overly sharing. Bombarding someone with love notes, with love texts, with long texts, with phone calls, with reaching out, and sharing what every little detail of your entire day is, it just makes you an open book. It becomes boring after some time. Especially with men, they need something to look for. It's their love need. They need to investigate. They need to hunt, basically. They need a little bit of something to play with, to chase, to wonder about. If you are overly sharing all your emotions with them constantly, and this is not just love, this is about anger, this is about frustration, going out and telling them why you're not happy with them, why you're mad at them, why you're disappointed, why you're this, why you're that, or even going to them and telling them how much you love them and how much you want them, how much you see a future with them, and you want children with them, or you want marriage, and you want this and you want that, and overly sharing what's happening inside you and inside your head only pushes them away. Because, first of all, guys don't talk about their emotions. And by you talking about every little thing that you feel, you saturate their need. You fill them up more than their capacity, right? One major thing in understanding how to keep a relationship together is understanding the differences between men and women. As women, we need to share verbally and by action our emotions, our needs, our wants in order to be happy. And not only we need to do that ourselves, we need to see that from our partner. When your partner shows you love, when they give to you, when they take you out, when they pay you attention, when they love bomb you, you love it and you feel safe and you're happy because this is your love need. But your partners, if your partner is a man or if they're in a masculine energy, their need is different. Their need is to be appreciated, but not to be love bombed. Their need is to have something to look for inside you. They need to find out for themselves. They need to wonder about things sometimes. They need to wonder how your day was. They need to have the need to ask why you're feeling what you're feeling. If they want to know, they will ask. You don't need to go out and write lengthy texts and emails to let them know how some person made you angry at work, or how your lunch was, or what the ingredients of your coffee was, right? So by overly sharing, you suffocate a relationship and you leave no room for breathing, and you leave no room for chasing and investigating and wondering, and you become basically boring. And that is one major reason why guys leave a relationship, is when the woman is sharing everything with them. You have to hold back a little bit here, and you have to, if you need to share something, you can call your girlfriends, you can call your mom. Of course, do not share personal things about your relationship with your family. That is one of the boundaries that I'm going to talk about in a separate video, about setting boundaries. But if you feel the need to talk about your day and how you got tired at work, or how, if you want to vent, basically, talk to a girlfriend. Don't bombard your partner with every detail of your day. The other factor that leads to toxicity or toxic feminine's habit is being desperate and chasing. Chasing love is one of the most, actually, it's one of the biggest mistakes that us women do at some point in our life. We could do it in our teen years, we could do it in our youth years, or even as adult women, we could still be chasing love, because that's what we so desperately need. But what we need to keep in our mind is, if you're chasing something, it means it's running. You won't have to chase after something if they're not running away from you. Or um, if you have to chase a person, if you feel the need to constantly initiate something with your partner, if you feel that, like, if you don't message them, they won't message you, if you don't call them, they won't call you, then you're chasing. If you sit back and relax and put your attention on yourself and they still don't call you, then you should question, is that person even interested in me, right? And that's a separate issue. But normally, if two people are interested in each other, if you start chasing your person, they start running. No two entities come towards each other by going forcefully at it, right? Love is something that you cannot chase. If you chase it, it goes away. Love is an energy that needs to be attracted. You need to bring it into your life. You don't need to go out looking for it, or running after it. That is the wrong way of approaching love. And by attracting it, I mean, you focus your attention on something else, and love will be attracted into your life. You put your attention onto yourself, you give yourself love, you work on yourself, you attend to all these wounds and issues that I'm talking about here, and you, once as you heal, you attract more love into your life, because your vibration goes higher, you start glowing, you start feeling better about yourself, you start looking more healthy, more confident. And confident is attractive. Confident is radiating, and people are drawn towards confident, strong, attractive people, right? So if you're chasing love, if you're going after someone, just stop it, because once the chasing stops, the running stops as well. And that is one major thing with divine masculine and feminines. Until the feminine stops chasing, the masculine will run. For as long as there is a chaser, there is a lover. The major turning point in a spiritual connection, like a twin journey, is when the chaser stops chasing. I always looked at this as taming a horse um, in a ring. If you run after the horse keeps running away. A trainer never runs after a horse. The twins, or the spiritual soulmates, they are connected by a bond. This bond is like a chain from their hearts to each other, right? Or any kind of bond. If you feel a bond with someone, it means there is a connection with them. If you chase them, this pull is like the person starts running and you're chasing after them, so both of you are constantly running and you never get to each other, because one is ahead and one is behind. If you stop running, if you stop chasing, basically, even if the other person is running, because there is a bond between you, this is like the a chain, or a rope that the trainer has on the horse. The horse is running, but the trainer is in the center, grounded, stable, stopped at one point, and the horse is just running around them. So if you're chasing someone, just stop today, and all you see is, even if they're running around you. And once they get tired, they will stop. And once they stop, you can slowly approach, or they will start approaching you. This is very important in any relationship. Stop running after someone, after anyone. First of all, because you deserve better. Because something that is running away from you is not for you. And if it's for you, it will come to you. So you don't need to run, right? The other major item that is leading to toxicity, or majority of toxic feminines have it in them, is sacrificing self-happiness and set others as priority. A lot of us as women in the society were taught from early childhood that the better piece, save it for your brother, save it for your little sister, save it for your siblings. Oh, give it to this one, give it to that kid. Oh, but you have to share what you have. Yes, sharing is caring, but almost none of our families in our past have ever taught us that you matter. Worry about yourself. Your happiness matters, especially for girls. Girls are usually taught to sacrifice their happiness for their other siblings, especially their brothers. In older societies, in more traditional cultures, women are usually sacrificing their own happiness for the happiness of everybody else. Women are mothers, and as mothers, I'm sure a lot of you in your families have seen your mom sacrificing their own happiness for their children, for their family, for their extended family. And nobody ever asked them, how do you feel about this? Are you happy? Like when they give away the best piece of food on the table to their children, to their husband, to their mother and father-in-laws, to their own parents, when they don't go to a hair salon or to a nail salon to do their nails, to do their hair, to do what makes them happy, and instead save that money for their husband to, I don't know, to get a better lawnmower, let's say. Right? Sacrifices can come in a lot of forms. It can come in small, trivial forms, or in big forms, like moving to another city for someone, changing your way of life for someone. I have seen women that sacrifice their career and their fortune for their husband and their children, when there could have been other ways that they could have worked around things. I'm not saying that don't give to your kids. The children are important. They need your attention if you have kids. But what matters is you have to find something to fulfill you also. If you have to quit your job to stay home and raise children, for example, you have to find something that is your safe haven. Men have man caves. Women also need a woman cave. You need something that grounds you, something that makes you happy, something that only belongs to you, and something that you don't give away for the happiness of others. Personally, when I talk to women in my life, I try to help them see and understand that their value doesn't come from how much they give away. It's in how much they give to themselves first. You have to fill your cup first in order to fill somebody else's cup. Um, One best example is if you're in an airplane and um, the oxygen mask comes down. You see the instructions. If you have been to a flight, they always tell you put your mask on first, then put it on your child. Even if you have a young child, you have to put your mask on first so you can stay alive, so you can take care of your child, right? It is the same story um, in life and in relationships. If you are not healthy, if you're not happy, if you're constantly giving away of yourself, if you're constantly providing for others and not paying yourself attention, you start running low at some point. And when you hit the bottom low, when you hit the very lowest end of the cup, when you run dry, when you run on fumes, nobody else can fill you up but you. And then you don't even have energy to do that. Then you have to just drop everything and take off. And when you have children and when you have family, you can't do that, right? You can't just take off for 2 weeks, go to another country on vacation and come back healthy. Some people can, but you can't necessarily do that. So you have to constantly take care of yourself to not get to that point where you need to drop everything and go. Also, sacrificing everything for others automatically, if this is not a brainwashed belief from a traditional culture, it kind of uh, creates the need for a return. And if your partner or if your children or if the people that you're in connection with and you're sacrificing for don't do the same for you, you start feeling disappointed. You start feeling bad about yourself. You start losing self-worth and you start um, seeing lack of value in what you're doing, right? Sacrifice together, altogether, sacrifice is wrong. What a relationship needs is not sacrifice, it's compromise. And there is a big difference between the two. Sacrificing is giving away what you have or what makes you happy for the sake of other people's happiness. But compromise is working together. It's I give today and you give tomorrow. It's a balanced thing. It's basically meeting in the middle. Anyway, the next item is being inauthentic. Being inauthentic is basically wearing a mask in a relationship. It's being fake, acting fake, um, living by somebody else's standard, acting based on what people expect of you, not living in your own skin, um, doing things just in order to get back what you want, which is also it also related to manipulation, like I talked about. Basically, not being who you are. If you're not living what your true self is, if you're living up to other people's standards and expectations, you won't attract what's good for you. You attract what's good for whatever that expectation or standard is, right? And you won't find happiness from that partnership. For example, if your family expects you to marry a rich guy, um, so you're hanging out with people that are financially well off, or you're trying to put yourself in those in that part of society, or you try to look rich yourself so you can attract rich. But if within you you don't see someone rich as being a valuable partner, if you don't need their money, if you need affection, if you need love, if you have other values inside your heart as your true self, then even if you find someone rich, even if you find someone that your family approves, that your friends approve, that your social circle approves, you yourself will not be happy with that. And when you're not happy in that relationship, your partner will not be happy with you. If you're a fake person, your partner will see through that. People are not dumb. People can see through each other. They can see if somebody's fake, if they can see um, you could go for a few dates and fool someone to believe that you're a certain way, but you cannot keep being fake for life without them knowing, right? You can't fool someone for life, um, because you can't even fool yourself for life. People that are living by other people's standards, not because they don't know it's wrong, it's because they choose to. And I never believe that people that are trying to match a certain societal values or um, standards or expectations, they actually believe they are that. Um, if they listen to their inner voice, they don't believe they are that. They just choose to be that. So these are all the items that I wanted to talk about toxic femininity. Toxic femininity is something that needs to be healed in order uh, to to create an environment for bringing the right person for you. If that right person is the person that already took off, if it's your divine masculine, if it's your soulmate, or if it's a new person that you want to attract into your life, you need to be in a healthy state of mind and healthy emotional state, um, in order to bring a healthy person into your life. Energy attracts energy, vibration attracts vibration. If you're in a low vibration, if you are not happy about what you are, about who you are, you will attract somebody just like you. People are our mirrors. If you're broken, you only attract broken. If you're wounded, you attract wounded. It's like attracts like. If you're happy, if you're confident, if you're high vibe, if you're healed, if you're calm, if you feel peace and love from within, you will attract someone mature, someone loving, someone peaceful, someone healed, and someone that can give all that to you, and someone that is open to receive that from you. So, everything that you need to do in order to bring someone back into your life or to attract someone new into your life starts with you. In a future video, I will post what a healthy feminine looks like, and a lot of those items, I'll touch base how these toxicity measures can be healed to get to that healthy point. Um, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. And hit the bell button so you can be notified when the next video is uploaded. Check out my previous post, how to get your DM back. I touch base some general items there, and the description box for that video has a few links that you might want to check out. Like the post if you like it, and share with anyone you think might take advantage of this. Stay safe. We're all in quarantine right now, and hopefully things get better in our environment. Please take care of yourself and have a good time.